Yo, what is up guys? So we're back again with another video on how to make money online Ewhoring. As always, you guys been crushing it in the Discord, making money, which is good. But today I want to talk about something a little different. I want to talk about the people that are not making any money, the people that, just can't seem to get it. Some people get it quicker than others. Some people are just faster learners in general. So if this sounds like you and you're watching this, please watch this video. There's a lot of garbage advice on the internet and on YouTube. So yeah, let's cover the reasons why you're not making any money. Number one, methods become outdated and saturated. For instance, Twitter doesn't really work well as it used to. Discord was horrible for a while, but recently I just started finding buyers on it again. So methods can become outdated and saturated and then just suddenly start working again out of nowhere. I know it's stupid, but I wish it was just like simple math, like 1 + 1 = 2, but that's just how it is. So what that means is just don't try one thing. If you're not having success, let's say you haven't made any sales in Discord, dating apps, Twitter, Reddit, whatever it is in a month, go try something different. I'm not saying those apps don't work. All I'm saying is just don't be glued to one particular app or Discord server. You guys have to try different things. All right, so number two is learning from the wrong people. As I said before, there's a lot of garbage advice on YouTube, and they only want to sell you something for a quick buck. I have hours and hours worth of free content and guides for completely free. Speaking of which almost none of you guys are watching. If you guys want to make money in this, please watch my videos. I promise you, watching a few hours worth of videos is not going to harm you in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, number three, no perfect method. Now this is something that I struggled with for a little while. There's no perfect method, and I know some of you guys just want the secret sauce. Sure, you can watch all my content. You have a better chance of making money that way. If you guys have the right tools, you have a better chance of making money. But know that you guys need to experiment. Some people find success with Discord. Some people find success with, apps. Some people like using AI packs. Some people like using models. It all comes down to what works and suits you. Remember, I'm kind of like your training wheels. I'm basically just here to guide you in the right direction. Right, so number four, setting unrealistic goals. Now, don't get me wrong. It's good to have goals, but, it's good to have a certain amount of money you want to earn by the end of the month. But again, when people don't hit their goals, they get discouraged or, they want to quit. Or let's say maybe they've been making money every month, but suddenly they're just not making as much as they used to and they just quit. Now I consider myself to be master at this, but I mean some months are just plain shit. When I mean shit, I mean like making 2K, 3K in a month. 2K in a month is pretty terrible for me. My best months were over 10K. Last month, which was December, I ended up the month close to 6K. Now that's a pretty good month in my opinion, but if you're just starting, you're thinking you're gonna make all this money, or putting an amount that you have to hit each month, then please don't put them too high, because you're just starting. You're in the process of learning, so the money you make in the beginning is not going to be that significant, until you guys get good and gain experience. All right, so number five is just not having the right tools. I'm talking about someone who has a pack that's really saturated and their profile looks like this, and yeah, you're not going to make a dime, or it's going to be insanely difficult. You guys want to invest in the right tools, in the right software, and the right people. That's where I come in. I know, sorry, now I'm going to promote my product, the VIP, which I will be releasing a new version of it in February 1st, because as always, I'm always changing what I do. Some of the stuff needs to be updated. Basically what this is, it gives everything you need to start making money. It'll make your life so much easier, and I'll keep adding stuff to it. So if there's something that I just recently started using, then I'll add it to the VIP package. But yeah, that's basically gonna be it. Again, February 1st will be the launch date for the VIP package. But yeah, that's gonna be all, guys. Peace out.